And here we finally are. Gentlemen, we finally got him. We are exposing Luke Stephens for lying in his sponsored videos. Allegedly, because I don't want to sue him. He has a rich family full of lawyers or something like that. So, Luke, please, it's all good and fun, okay, bro? PewDiePie brofist. In any case, today we're going to be talking about something that I have disliked forever about Luke. And I know that field is large, because honestly, before we start the video, does anyone even like Luke? Because every time I read the comments of his comment section, it's just people making fun of him for being a sellout. People just saying, oh, look at that, Luke's finally playing a game and he's once again getting paid for it. Man, that is sad. But, well, honestly, if your whole existence revolves around only two things, and that is getting money and finding new ways of getting money, I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. But, you know why we're doing this? I'm going to show you why we're doing this. Why we're exposing Luke for lying in his sponsored videos. Allegedly. Again, don't sue me, Luke. And this is it. Because this always rubbed me the wrong way.
When the developers, a studio called Donkey Crew, which is an awesome name for a studio, by the way, when they reached out and asked me if I would like to do a sponsored video to share this with all of you, I agreed, so long as I'm allowed to say whatever I want to say, and they agreed. After all, their whole thing is to...
And there we are. I absolutely despise when people say this. Oh, as long as I am allowed to say anything I want about the game, even if it's negative. That is such a bold lie, by the way. It is disgusting. I can count probably on two fingers how many people I would actually trust to say, oh yeah, I took the sponsorship, but only if I was allowed to say the bad things about this thing. There's only roughly like two people in the whole world I would trust with that. And Luke, surprisingly enough, is not one of those people. And I have pretty much absolute proof that Luke is lying when he says this. Because this Bellwright sponsorship is never allowing you to say a single negative word about it. And I can prove that because I got a version of this sponsorship, but a lot of people already have this sponsorship. So first of all, let's just go through how absolutely just untrue this thing is. Look at his equipment. This is what Luke has. This is like in the end game, and this takes countless hours to actually get to. And then we have our favorite, Extra Life, who is also known as a complete not liar and all of those things, you know? Who has, strangely enough, exactly the same equipment. Then we have other people, exactly the same equipment. And you know why this transcript page is open? Because all of these videos obviously have points that you need to talk about. Because that's how these sponsorships work. If you don't know how sponsorship works, it pretty much is like this. You get offered sponsorship, and then you have, in some cases, literal points of text that you have to say in, or in other situations, there's points that you need to cover. And this is most likely that you have to say something. Because these videos, half of them, start with exactly the same words of, you start with nothing, which is very suspicious, because how many people honestly are gonna start the video of explaining what the game is by saying you start with nothing? That's very interesting. And the other videos are gonna have a variation of you start with nothing, which is also pretty sus, obviously. But this is just the small fries. You know how I know that Luke is pretty much allegedly, again, don't sue me, Luke, I have nothing. How I know that he is lying when he says that he can say anything he pleases? Well, first of all, if he says that there's no legal repercussions, there are none. He can't get sued. He can't get fined. There's nothing. There's nothing. So he can just say that and feel completely free to do that. And by the way, half of the reason I'm making this video is because Luke absolutely despises being called a sellout. That makes me smile because, again, if we look at his comment section, my God, it's like, does he even have anyone who supports him? Because this is literally every single video where people are just calling him out for getting paid. And this is, by the way, one of the great comments. This is 100% advanced save file they sent you. It takes ages to get this far. Yes, it is an advanced save file. How do we know? Well, if you would actually look at this for a minute, but we're going to talk about this later. This is one of the emails I got. And the reason that I know that he can't say what he wants is because of who this email came from. Because it came from NetEase. Yes, NetEase, the literal gaming government arm of the Chinese People's Communist Party, or whatever the full name is. Yeah, they don't care if you have 1 subscriber, 1 billion subscribers, or you have all the future subscribers in the universe. They will never allow you to speak openly about anything. But I hear you say, if you know anything about this, Donkey Crew is not owned by NetEase. And it's not. Which is the most interesting rabbit hole, by the way, in this whole debacle, by the way, because Donkey Crew is indeed not owned by NetEase. It says so here in the AI summary, and I could not find anything that would prove otherwise. Does NetEase invest in Donkey Crew? No. But here's when where the stuff gets interesting, because you see, Snail Games previously owned Donkey Crew. How is this possible? I don't actually exactly understand, because Snail Games is Chinese. It's a full-blown Chinese company. And Donkey Crew is a Polish games developer? What the hell? How is this even a thing? I don't know. But then Donkey Crew went its separate ways from Snail Games, and Snail Games is a part of NetEase, and NetEase is a part of the CCP. And then we get back to this email right here. The fun email. Yeah. So, if you would like, I don't have the ad, but the ad is absolutely hilarious, because this is what a lot of companies do, by the way, in this industry. They have women always reach out to content creators, because with a women, you're gonna most likely reply, you're gonna do this and that. And it's funny, because this one, actually, no, I do have the best regards, Katniss. So, it's always like, hey dear, they try to be as nice, they try to reel you in, because let's face it, the Chinese wives have literally gotten into the US government, so obviously if it works there, it's probably gonna work here with the spies. I absolutely love these emails. Hi dear, and then at the end, it's best regards, Katniss. Now, I am not showing you from who this email is, but it is from at corp.netease.com, which is, again, literally NetEase. And the funny part is, it has the person who sent this email, their name, and it's not going to be their actual name, but just so you understand how absolutely cringe this is, it's literally from Zhu Zhao. A dude. It's clearly a dude. And then it's best regards, Katniss. That's my probably favorite part about China, okay? Zhu Zhao is sending you an email. Hi dear, best regards, Katniss. So, and by the way, this is about shorts. They supply stuff and things like that, blah blah blah. They will even give you all the things, materials that you need and stuff like that. This is pretty much classic. Raid Shadow Legends does it also, but Raid Shadow Legends at least sponsored me. It's been forever. I actually liked your game. Like, what the hell? Give me money. Okay, Raid Shadow Legends is unironically the only sponsorship that your daddy is gonna take, okay? And, well, since it's NetEase, again, as we can prove from the emails and whatever, There is no way in literal hell they will actually allow Luke to say anything truly negative about it. So Luke may actually say some small, minor, and negative things in his review about this, about Bellwright, but the reality is they are not gonna allow him to say anything that's meaningful. He can say, "Oh, the polygon on that flower is not perfect," and NetEase is gonna be, "We let this slide. We let this slide. This flower does make the CCP look kind of incompetent if it's bad. Okay, we're gonna let this slide this one time." So no. And my suspicion is obviously that Luke is lying every single time that he says that, oh, he can say whatever he wants. I think it's a lie. I have no proof of other cases, but again, this is a situation where it's NetEase. They will never allow you to actually speak your mind negatively about anything that they are involved in, because that's not how China operates. So there we go. Luke is lying, and the funny part is, again, everyone knows this. These comments are diabolical, boys. Like, does anyone even support him? His existence must honestly be sad. A gamer who only plays games when they slightly pay you on a pre-created save. Well, it's pretty good. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's Lukey Poo. 10 out of 10. Bye.